Welcome to Destination Vacaville, brought to you by Visit Vacaville, the city's official voice for tourism. I'm your host, Melyssa Reeves. In every episode, I will introduce you to the people and places that make visiting Vacaville such a unique travel experience, like seasonal adventures, agricultural tourism, family activities, craft beer, culinary delights, wine country, and more. Subscribe and leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Destination Vacaville, let's go! Joining me today is my guest, DJ Pocket. I'm so happy to have you. You have been planning some amazing Pride events in Vacaville, and I'm super excited as we're kind of right in the middle of Pride Month to hear about what you have planned and what you've been working on. So first of all, thanks for being here. And why don't you start by telling us a little bit about you?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me on here because what I've been doing around Vacaville, I've been doing for the last 4 years, and I'll get into that in a second. But I just want to say I really appreciate just you even reaching out because I'm glad that somebody's seeing what I'm doing.
We're so thrilled to have you, and we love all the events that you're planning here.
Thank you very much. My name is Michael, or DJ Pocket. So I grew up in Vacaville. I moved away about 6 years ago. I started DJing 8 years ago in Sacramento. I'm gay, and I've been working for one of the gay nightclubs in Sac. And just from doing that, I started doing a lot of drag shows and just getting really involved in the community as much as I could. And with Vacaville and what I'm doing there, that came around just because the event that I do is called Pride Night Vacaville. It's once a month, and it used to be at the Point. So before that, that's where I was doing the event. So it was kind of random. I had no intention of I hadn't really thought about doing any events like that before, or like what I do. I guess the thought had crossed my mind, but I never really, it wasn't something that I was like actively trying to do. It just kind of fell into my lap because I knew one of the bartenders that worked there. I had known her for a number of years just from growing up in Vacaville. And she reached out to me at one point, and I want to say like maybe January or February of 2018. And she said that this bar that she works at was trying to do a gay night, a drag show kind of thing. And she said that they were starting it that January, and then it was kind of going downhill quickly. And she was like, I think you might be able to come out and maybe help it if you want to like come out and like give it a shot. So I went to see it, and I saw they had enough, like they had a good starting point, I felt. And I was like, yeah, I could totally do this. Now that I'm actually here doing it, I feel like I have more of a grasp on like what needs to happen kind of. So with doing what I do in Sacramento and what I've been doing in Sacramento for so long now, I've made so many great relationships with a lot of drag performers, and I figured that I could basically turn what they had in Vacaville into something a lot bigger just because of the relationships that I've made. So that's when I was like, wait, yeah, I don't need to just use what they have. I can, use people that I know and bring them over and just try to start something really fresh and fun and cool. So that's kind of how it started. And
how long have you been planning them now?
We've been 4 years strong. Even through the pandemic and everything, I spent a lot of my own money on it. It was important to me to keep it going in some capacity during COVID, the pandemic, because I didn't want it to. I mean, it's hard. It is hard enough continuing this kind of a show in a town like Vacaville, So I didn't want to risk the show totally dying because of quarantine and everything. So I just from sitting at home, I was like, well, the only thing that I can really do is make it digital. So I made it digital, and I was doing that every month for the majority of 2020. And then we were able to start back up I think we came back in June of 2021 in person. So we did most of 2020 digitally, and then we did January of 2021 digitally, and then we took off February, March, April, May, and then came back in person in June.
And been back since then?
Yeah, we've been back ever since. Yeah, every month.
Awesome. So you
Right.
mentioned that it's hard to do these kind of events in Vacaville. We're so grateful that you do. This is very needed in our community. So I'm so grateful to you. I know our community is grateful to you for hosting these events and continuing and keeping them going during really difficult times with COVID. Tell me about some of those challenges and why it's challenging here and what kind of crowds you're getting.
I mean, it can be difficult because I mean, Vacaville is such a small town, and so that in itself makes it kind of difficult. And I feel like Vacaville in general just can really benefit from having more of these types of events, just to help bring hopefully bring the LGBTQ plus community more, I guess, to the forefront.
Absolutely. And I think this is why events like yours, like organizations like ours, are so grateful. As we're trying to build a more inclusive community, it's so important to have diverse events and events for everyone in our community.
Right.
And so we are super grateful to you, DJ Pocket, for making it happen.
Well, thank you so much. And this is also I work a lot with the Solano Pride Center, and so just to kind of tag along that, I think it's super great that they like this year was the second Pride that they've done in Vacaville, like Pride event, at Andrews Park, and I think that's super great.
Absolutely. I think, the tide is turning. I think, you kind of alluded to it. I think Vacaville probably hasn't always been the most inclusive city, but I think, again, the tide is turning. I think we're a new and better community. And I love that we're moving that direction. And I love that I think we're better for it, for sure.
Because I'm sorry, you also asked me what kind of a crowd that I'm getting. The crowd that we get, I was really actually pleasantly surprised by the crowds that we do get for the show. I mean, growing up in Vacaville myself and being gay, like I knew obviously that there's plenty of our community there. I guess I never realized how many were willing to come out and do things.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm glad to hear that you're getting the support that way and that people feel comfortable being able to go out. And I mean, they sound like amazing events.
I think they're a lot of fun. I mean, I try to make them as if I were gonna go see them myself.
But I do want to know, because you still have an event this month, right? On the 25th?
Yep, this Saturday.
Awesome. So tell our listeners a little bit about what that event is and exactly what they could expect if they came out.
So this Saturday, the 25th, June 25th, every June show, I call it Pride Ball. So this is Pride Ball 2022. And for this particular show, I try to make it bigger a little bit. So I'll book quite a bit more performers. If I can, I'll try to book a little bit more well-known performers, I guess, from the area, just to really try and make that draw bigger. So I have two drag queens from San Diego coming up here for the weekend, and we're doing a kind of a whole tour for them. So their main gig is going to be this Saturday at my show at Pride Night Vacaville. So yeah, I have two queens from San Diego coming up. I've had a couple queens from New York fly out in the past. Yeah, so I try to make the June shows, like the one coming up on the 25th. I try to make these a little bit bigger and a little bit more exciting. I think there's around 10 performers total, which is a lot.
Awesome. And tell us, so that show is at the Hideaway.
Yeah, this is at the Hideaway.
And what time does that show start?
Hideaway Lounge and Grill. This Saturday, the doors are at 7 o'clock, and the show will start around 8 o'clock, roughly.
Is it a ticketed event?
No, there's no tickets, there's no cover. You just walk in, be over 21.
Perfect. It sounds awesome. So again, we talked a little bit about, about Vacaville being a smaller city. Let's talk to, the mass of our listeners and those that maybe don't understand exactly what we can do as a community to be more supportive. How can we raise more awareness? What can all of our listeners do regardless of their orientation? What can everybody do to be more supportive of the LGBTQIA plus community? And are all those letters correct?
I mean, the letters, first of all, are never going to end. I mean,
Okay.
the letters are just gonna go on. So yeah, those letters are perfect.
Okay, perfect.
And I often will shorten it myself. So
Okay.
but yeah, I think that one of the best things to do is listen. Is literally just to listen and listen, participate if you want, but again, you don't have to. Just kind of listen and just pay attention, share stuff on social media, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's how word is going to get spread, right? So just yeah, I mean, I think one of the more important things is to listen, really.
No, great advice. Thank you. So, are there any issues that the LGBTQ plus community is facing that maybe people don't understand besides, just not having people to listen or, an understanding? Is there any other issues, particularly for Vacaville in a smaller community like ours, that we should be aware of?
I think the issues, first of all, the issues are there. We have a long way to go still. And these issues are, they're, although they are sometimes getting a little bit better, in the long run, they're really not. And so like we can't like stop trying to make them better. And and there's such a list. I mean, whether it be understanding gender identity, which is really important right now, respecting people's preferred pronouns, that's very important, and a lot of people don't understand that, I think. But it's not really, I don't even know if it's necessarily for you to understand as much as it is for you to respect. You know what I mean? You don't really have to understand it, but you just need to respect it.
Absolutely. If there's a drag queen or king that want to get involved in one of your shows, how would they go about doing that?
They can find, well, first of all, they can find either myself, DJ Pocket, on all social media at DJ Pocket 707, or they can find Pride Night Vacaville on Instagram and Facebook at Pride Night Vacaville. And so they're more than welcome to send me a message on either one of those profiles. I can't guarantee that I'll, book them, but I'm pretty open with my booking. I like to have a cast that's pretty much a good mix of very established performers, maybe some that are a bit newer to the game, and then maybe someone brand new. Yeah, so I've been pretty open with that. So yeah, they're more than welcome to send me a message.
And one more time, DJ Pocket, will you tell us if people want to find more information, not only on Saturday's event, but future events, where can they go to keep in the loop on all the events that you're planning?
Yeah, Pride Night Vacaville, you can find information about the show on Facebook and Instagram at Pride Night Vacaville, or you can also go to any of my own DJ Pocket pages at DJ Pocket 707, Facebook, Instagram, less Twitter, more Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, I
perfect.
If you just go and look at my DJ Pocket pages, I pretty much look like I'm probably like a robot because I have my personal page where I post more of my personal stuff, and so my Pocket page is very much just like it's just promotion after promotion after promotion. So you can find literally anything that I'm doing on there.
Perfect. That's okay. That's what that page is for. Promotion, promotion, promotion. We love it. So again, thank you so much for being with me today. I so appreciate it. We appreciate what you're doing for our community and bringing these events to Vacaville. And I so appreciate your time today and just really loved having you.
Well, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to Destination Vacaville from Visit Vacaville, the city's official destination marketing organization. For more information on the people and places covered in today's episode and ideas for trip planning, head to visitvacaville.com. Music by Kurt Gellerstad, and thank you to Flores Podcast Consulting for their work on this and every episode of Destination Vacaville.